Hi, everyone. This is Gilberto from Maverick Media Lab here, and I'm here with one of our amazing clients here, Tim Kemper from Guild Mortgage. He has been working with us for 3+ months now, and he's going to be talking about his experience with us and what it's been like using our realtor referral outreach program and some of the results that he's seen. So, Tim, welcome on. I really appreciate you sharing your time with us today to talk about your experience.
Yep, sure.
Awesome. So can you tell us just a little bit like who you are and like how you came across our company, like how you heard of us?
Yeah, who I am. I've been in the business so going on 10 years now. Before that, I built houses for 25 years. So I kind of switched over when my body started getting beat up and I'm getting older. I had been with Guild. Well, actually, I was with Stanford Mortgage for 6 years, and then I moved over to Guild, got recruited by them, and then I tried wholesale with Edge Home Finance, which is a great company, but Guild kept trying to get me back. So I came back, but I initially heard about Maverick Media when I was at Edge. They have weekly meetings, and one of the LOs had talked about he got involved with Maverick Media and was getting some good results, or was excited about the results he was anticipating. And so, so I got on to, the website and started checking out some testimonials, because I always look at testimonials. I watched those numerous times, and there was this one LO, I think it was in Myrtle Beach, I forget his name, but he had a Guild hat on. So I called him up and talked to him about it. He was positive, and so I signed up. And the reason I did was because I didn't like working with realtors, believe it or not. I mean, kind of hard talking to realtors sometimes, and trying to get them to, like you, because a lot of realtors, I don't know, maybe they look down on LOs, I don't know, but and I have plenty of business with where I live. But anyway, so rates are changing. I thought maybe I needed to get into getting more realtor partners, and so I signed up. And well, I'll tell you what, I've talked to 48 realtors, had 48 conversations so far. My results, I have 4 realtors that have been sending me deals. I closed one right off the bat. I have 6 realtors that are doing that, actually, now that I look at my numbers. And I have 13 that are going to be sending me deals. We have a good working relationship. They just haven't sent them to me yet, but they will. I have 20 that are I'm working with them. I think I can turn them at some point. And then I had 10 that didn't show up, or, were false alarms in my book. But the one thing that's kind of cool is that one of the realtors that I talked to is a trainer for EXP Realty, which is sort of like a big franchise here, like Keller Williams. And about 4 or 5 of the realtors that I've been talking to in my town in Chico, California, are part of EXP. And this guy that I talked to down in the Bay Area, down in San Francisco, was a trainer for Northern California. So we started talking, and he also had a ranch up here in Orland, which is near Chico. And so he's been sending me leads, but he also trains the EXP realtors up in this area in Northern California, and they're going to be moving into Chico. And so he's looking for a loan officer that he can bring, have everybody refer their business to, which hopefully that'll be me. And he's sending me deals, and I mean, you never know what you're going to get,
Yeah.
So you might get the CEO of somebody at some company that loves what you're doing. So anyway, it's all been good.
That's so true. And I've seen a similar thing with other clients too, where we'll get them a booked meeting, and then it'll be like a broker with a team of like 5 agents, and then they'll bring them on for like a lunch meeting. And like, it all started with like just one phone call and like connecting them. So yeah, I'm not surprised that something like that came along with the amount of outreach and the amount of appointments you've had. Those type of opportunities like do come along, which sounds huge. I'm curious, what were some of before you started working with us, what were some of the struggles or like bottlenecks when it came to getting more realtor referral partners? Like, what was stopping you from kind of growing that realtor base?
Well, for one thing, I didn't really like talking to realtors. I hate small talk. So when I go to, functions. I just didn't like kissing their butts, basically, if you want to get down to it. And so I didn't. And I worked when I was with Stanford Mortgage. We were the in-house lender for Century 21, and there was there was actually 80 realtors in that office, and a lot of them already work with other LOs, and they wouldn't give us the time of day, believe it or not. So I kind of had a bad experience working with realtors, and so there's only like four really that I work with on a regular basis. So I didn't have any realtor relationships. So what this did with this was this opened it up to me and gave me the confidence to talk to realtors, because I have no problem talking with somebody that is not sitting in front of me. But it also enabled me to, some of these realtors were in town that I got these appointments with as well. So I meet them at the coffee shop. And so there's a whole bunch of, I just got realtors in town that I would never have gotten before. And also I told Maverick Media that I wanted from the Bay Area, San Francisco, San Jose area, all the way to the Oregon border, which is Northern California. So I'm getting realtors from the Bay Area where the average home is selling for $1.7 million. That's a ranch style 3-2, and in Chico, they're, 500 to 600,000. So, the numbers are bigger, and I'm getting a lot of those realtors calling me up. So, these are people I would never even known how to get hold of, let alone, have the kahunas to talk to them. So
I love it. And what of out of the entire system and what you've seen so far and like the experience with working with us, like what's been like your favorite part about working with us? So like the part that you found like most valuable.
Well, the part that's most valuable is the fact that I'm getting these appointments set up based on what my schedule looks at my calendar. I haven't, although today we had a scheduling conflict, but I can look at the week, and I have 4 or 5 appointments scheduled throughout the week, scattered through the week around my schedule. And plus there's follow-up. So your system texts them before to make sure that we're still on for the appointment. And generally that works, that works pretty good. So I haven't had too much problem with people not showing up. Although, out of, 48 people, 10 of them didn't show up, but that could have been any reason. But that, I like that. Plus my, I guess your account executive or whoever it is, the person that,
Angelo?
Angelo, he contacts me every week, and just make sure everything's going right for me. So that's kind of cool. Other than that, it's, it works. I'm getting these referrals, these agents. I'm talking to them,
And one thing I was curious about, because I always like asking this question, kind of just see from you guys' perspective. Like I'm sure you get, marketing emails all the time, and it's probably like flooding your inbox. Why choose to work with us instead of like, I guess, the many options that you have available? Like what made you choose to work with us?
Well, I got to say, you're not cheap. So it was a stretch for me to do this. And like I said, those testimonials on your website, I watched them over and over and over again. And I thought about it. And, the testimonial with the guy from Edge. And then I called the guy back in Myrtle Beach and talked to him. So, and then there was somebody else that I talked to. I might have talked to 2 other people, but I always follow up and do my own research. So they all said that you guys do what you say you're going to do, which is put you in front of realtors. So I go, okay, I'll give it a shot and see what happens. And, I'm not disappointed. It's up to me to convince them to work with me, but I'm pretty good at that too. So I've got 15, I've got about 36 realtors that will be working with me at some point. And I've got 16 already that are, they're pretty close to it. So, if I could get 20 realtors giving me 1 deal a month, I'd be satisfied.
Yeah, you're set at that point.
Yeah.
And what I found interesting too, before, like something you mentioned before, like we hopped on the call here, on the interview, you mentioned a little bit about your follow-up too, because that was something you mentioned just now. Can you like kind of explain a little bit about what you're doing? Like once you have that meeting that transpires, what happens after that point? Like what are the things that you're doing on the nurture side to ensure that that realtor actually sends you business?
Well, one of the cool things with your program is you know, you can put your realtors in sections. So there's a nurture section that you have, which I didn't realize how well that worked, but you know, every once in a while, I don't know if it's every week or whatever, you'll send a text saying, hey, that was a great conversation we had. If there's anything, if you have any questions or anything, I'm here to answer. It's got my contact information. Like I sent it, which I didn't. But I've had people respond to that, and I go, "Oh, did I send that?" You know, and I'm looking through my phone, and now I realize that's a system. So that was good. But what I do, I also partner with Mortgage Marketing Animals, which is a coaching program that a lot of people know about, or if you don't, you should check it out. But they have besides all their fantastic coaching, they have a program where they it's a realtor mastermind group that they provide a class every Tuesday at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And I send that link to everybody that I talk to. I have them on an email list, and I send that link to them, and they're able to join in on a live webinar with topics that are pertinent to a realtor. Like, for example, one of them was working in the divorce attorney niche. You know, that's realtors want to know about that kind of stuff. So that goes out every week. So I keep them on that email list, and it's not everybody gets on it. I can see actually who signs up for it, and usually 2 or 3 out of my group sign up for the class, but they also record. So if they miss something, then I can send them a recording of it. So it's another way to follow up with the realtors that I've talked with already, because I could call them up on Tuesdays and say, hey, what'd you think about that? You know, the last Tuesday's webinar. And they go, oh, I missed it. Could you resend it? Or, you know, we just talk about it or whatever. So it's a great way to follow up. But I keep notes on my conversation so I could just follow up with them. And the key is following up and, you know, being top of mind. I mean, we all know that.
That is so true. Yeah. Once the hardest part is already done, the prospecting, and then the meeting is done. At that point, it's just like, keeping in front of them and actually like staying top of mind once they've already agreed to working with you. Last question here. So if you were talking to someone who's, on the fence, or possibly even like looking at this video now and they're considering working with us, like what would you say to that specific person?
Well, you'll get the appointments. I mean, I can guarantee that. I mean, you can guarantee that. You guys do guarantee that you'll get X amount of appointments, right? Not everyone is great, but I'd say 8 out of 10 are good. And I am not disappointed. I spent a bunch of money on this, and that was the one thing that was holding me back. I was like, buying leads again. But they're not really leads. They're appointments set with the right kind of person that you want to get in front of. And it worked great for me because I didn't have any of that. Now I do. I've got 48 people I can pester now for leads. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's the way I always like to explain it is like going after like the fishermen, and instead of going like straight fishing yourself, because they're already like, as you've already experienced, like the referrals from the realtors are so much more better than going after like buying leads where you're having to sift through hundreds of leads, converting at maybe 3 to 5%. Whereas with the realtor stuff, it's just much higher conversion. You get good areas like San Francisco. It's like what, 1.5 million you mentioned?
1.7. That's just San Jose. I mean, San Francisco, it's a lot more. But the thing is that one of my filters was I wanted to work with experienced realtors that were closing 10 or more, 10, 15, 20 loans or deals a year. And I'm finding that it might be easier, or might be more, or had better conversations with newer realtors, which was something that I experimented with. And well, I'm going to be experimenting with on this next month. Talked to Angelo about that. We came up with that idea. He came up with that idea. So There's ways that you can fine tune it if you're not getting what you want, but I think it's well worth it. I mean, if nothing's working for you, try this. I mean, all you got to lose is some money, but the chances of you getting landing a whale, like I've landed a couple whales in this group, so I'm really happy with what I did, and I'm excited about what is to come. So as long as it keeps working for me, I'll keep doing it, and it's working.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tim, for, I mean, one, your kind words, but also like your time. I know you mentioned you had some realtor appointments, you were at the office. I really
Mhm.
appreciate your time and really, kind of sharing your transparent and honest experience with us. It means a lot to me and Angelo and the entire Maverick team. Really, it does.
Well, thanks. If you're out there and you're thinking about it or on the fence, jump off that fence or fall off. It's always better on the other side anyway. That's what I always say.